We know from the other viruses, historically, yes, most outbreaks do slow down in the summertime.
That's Louisa Petre from Mount Sinai Hospital in New York. Warm weather might slow down the spread of COVID-19, but it won't stop the disease. COVID-19 transmission occurs when small viral droplets spread directly between people. Like if someone coughs and you inhale it, or if those droplets got on a surface that you touch before touching your face. This is very similar to common colds, which some coronaviruses cause, and the flu. From what we know about these more common viruses, they tend to have a harder time spreading in warmer, more humid weather like we usually see in summer. To understand why, let's start with those droplets that spread the virus. In general, when it's more humid and someone coughs or sneezes, droplets like the coronaviruses tend to absorb moisture from the air. This weighs down the droplets more quickly, forcing them to the ground sooner. All of this means that those droplets tend to travel less far from the infected person and that they have a lower likelihood of staying suspended in the air for any length of time. And of course, that means they're less likely to find their way into someone else's nose or mouth. But when those droplets land on the ground or various surfaces that others might touch, they can remain contagious. Early studies looking at the coronavirus in perfect lab settings suggest that it can survive for quite a while depending on the surface.
We've learned that the virus can survive on paper and cardboard up to 24 hours and on smooth surfaces like marble counters, metal or plastic, it can survive up to 3 days. But those are laboratory conditions. In real life, it's probably much lower than that.
Warmer weather might make it just a little bit harder for them to survive on surfaces.
The sweet spot for coronavirus right now is established around 4850 Fahrenheit. And what happens at higher humidity and temperature, the viral particle becomes unstable and breaks down and it's less contagious.
It's important to note here that this number does not come from looking at the virus under a microscope, but instead from researchers at a Chinese university analyzing statistically at what average temperature COVID-19 spread most during the early weeks of the outbreak in January and February 2020. So, the study is not saying that the virus just spontaneously combusts above 50 degrees Fahrenheit. In fact, we know it continues to spread. These researchers are just asserting that it spreads less effectively. In a study funded by the National Institutes of Health, the University of Maryland took a closer look at the COVID-19 pandemic to try and get a better idea of whether this reasoning played out on a global scale. According to the study, COVID-19 has established significant community spread in cities with average temperatures between about 40 and 50 degrees Fahrenheit and low humidity. Those cities experience similar weather patterns and are roughly distributed along